Welcome to HoodChampionBoxing Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. But secret society strikes again. I put stikes. Let me correct this. Show y'all how the magic works. All right. Sometimes when you're typing, that's why you got to stop, proofread before you go live, because the McNicholases will see that and start to poke you in the eyeball. Right there. Boom! You see how the magic works? Anyway, secret society striking again. Now, this is just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Now, we know Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev. Going on a couple of years now, but those two guys should have fought. You know, you look at Dmitry Bivol in his position. Matter of fact, I like to show y'all this stuff while I'm talking. That way you guys can understand what I'm saying. So let me pull something up for you while I'm talking, right? But it doesn't make sense to me why this undisputed fight hasn't happened. We know the WBC has tried to block it, and there's been all kind of excuses about the war between Ukraine and Russia, etc., right? Let me see if this pulls up. Okay, it does pull up. So okay, now let's look at, okay, here we go. So let me just cover all that crap up. This is what you got here, right? You got Beterbiev. He has the WBO strap, IBF strap, and the WBC strap. Okay? And Bivol is sitting with his WBA strap. All these key decision makers, promoters, secret society, fly on the wall, you know, anyone who's got their hand in the cookie jar have been preventing this fight from happening. Now, I personally think that sucks for especially Bivol, who wants to fight. But I'm going to tell you what's even crazier. Dmitry Bivol recently did an interview. And what Bivol said was he wants to fight the winner of Beterbiev Smith. Now, check this out. You know the WBC, and there's a lot of other people behind the scenes who are out there, and they're working with Turki Al-Sheikh as far as the fights that, you know, he wants to put on, and they give their input, and then there are collective decisions being made as far as going forward with fights across different weight divisions. Now, for this year, 2024, Bivol is focused on becoming undisputed at 175. We saw what he just did in his last fight. Totally just outclassed his opponent. But this is what Turki Al-Sheikh is saying to him. He's like, hey, let's make the fight against Jai Apataya. Now, why would they be trying to push Dmitry Bivol to fight Jai Apataya? That's what I don't understand. Now, this is the thing. It's not fight Jai Apataya at cruiserweight. At light heavyweight. They want him to go up and fight Jai Apataya at cruiserweight. Come on now. That's ridiculous. When Bivol has done nothing but repeat, it's like he's on repeat. He's like a broken record at this point in time. He's told the whole world he wants to do everything at light heavyweight. That's it. That's the only reason why I think Bivol's still hanging around at light heavyweight. Because he wants to pick up that undisputed distinction. Bivol's got it right. One fight, 3 belts. Why would he sit there and run the risk of fighting Jai Apataya and losing at cruiserweight? Even if he keeps his belt at 175. If he comes back down to 175 and gets an opportunity at undisputed, his stock has plummeted, okay? So that's the only fight he's focused on, and that's his goal. And it's really annoying that they're really trying to push this man other directions instead of towards the undisputed distinction. There was even some boxing experts that came out and was talking about how his energy seemed low. He seemed like he was bored in the fight, like he lost confidence because he wasn't able to get his opponent out of there. And then he came back real quick and was like, look, what are they talking about? You know, I fight smart. I fight to make sure that I'm keeping my energy. I'll fight in spurts. You know, I was actually enjoying the fight, and I was using my jab, keeping my distance, and then I was exploding. And I was exploding. He even added that he wanted his opponent to throw more shots. So he said, I don't really understand what these people are talking about. Now, I'm going to tell you what's even more annoying for me is you got goddamn Eddie Hearn over here, right, who doesn't seem to want Bivol to fight Beterbiev. And I just think when you come to Eddie Hearn, like, what's his agenda? You know, what exactly is he planning on? Because Eddie Hearn is out here saying that he believes Beterbiev is going to lose to Caleb Smith. Now, there's a lot of people who have an opinion about this fight. Some feel Smith will win. Some feel Beterbiev will win. Those who feel that Smith will win say that, hey, Beterbiev just looking a little more normal. You know, Beterbiev hasn't been fighting as a pro that long, but he turned pro late. But Beterbiev is not a spring chicken, and he is vulnerable. He can be hurt. He can be hit. The problem is he can take it, but his opponents can't. He can take the pain, but his opponents can't take what he dishes out. But nevertheless, Eddie Hearn is Caleb Smith's promoter. So you can understand why he's pushing the narrative that Smith is going to stop Beterbiev. But I just don't think so. I just don't think so. I have a tough time seeing Smith actually getting in there and beating Beterbiev. But if Smith fights long, if he fights with intelligence, he can have some success. But, you know, Beterbiev does a great job at what a lot of these elite fighters today cannot do. He cuts that ring off, man, and he comes at you. So I see Beterbiev at some point getting to Smith and chopping him down. First 4 rounds probably be a little interesting. After that, I think he starts to get to him. But nonetheless, man, if for some reason Beterbiev was to get hurt but win the fight, Bivol and Beterbiev, you know, Bivol could find himself in a position where he goes inactive again for an extended period of time, waiting for the undisputed bout to come off. But if Beterbiev loses, now Bivol has to look to fight Caleb Smith. And this is where it gets interesting. Do they want to go right into an undisputed bout, Caleb Smith against Beterbiev? Or do they say, nope, Caleb Smith, he has all these belts. Now he's got to fight mandatories. Because if you take a look, this is what's crazy about boxing, man. This mandatory stuff, and then they push it when it's convenient. You know what I mean? But if Caleb Smith beats Beterbiev, now you got for the WBO, Joshua Buatsi is in the number 1 spot. The IBF, you got Michael Effort in the number 1 spot. The WBC is Buatsi in the number 2, who will bubble up to the number 1. And in the WBA, Joshua Buatsi is number 1. So you see what's happening here? If Caleb Smith wins, I'm willing to bet you right now he's going to fight Joshua Buatsi next. And Bivol will probably end up having to fight a Azeez or a Yardi. Again, you just watch. Because the WBA is going to be worried about the WBA. But that's what I see happening here. You got Buatsi and Azeez. Look at the sanction about it. This is what's crazy. The WBO. Buatsi, Caleb Smith, Azeez. If Smith wins, then you got Buatsi and Azeez. The IBF, you got, if Smith wins, you got Effort, then you got Buatsi at number 3. Number 2 is vacant. The WBC, Smith is 1, you got Buatsi at 2, Azeez at 3. The WBA, Buatsi at 1, Azeez at 2. So essentially what you're going to have, Buatsi and Azeez are going to get a shot. One's going to get a shot at Caleb Smith if he beats Beterbiev. The other one's going to get a shot at Bivol. That's really how this is shaping up. And I think it's happening like that for a reason, to get an all British showdown for undisputed at 175. I really think that's the direction they're trying to take it. But it sucks because, man, you know, I just think they're doing Bivol wrong, man. I think they're doing him wrong. I think he should make more noise. He's too quiet. He should make more noise, you know, but that ain't really his character. But anyway, y'all keep cool. Secret societies at work, just pay attention. Look at what's going on here, man. I'm not here making this shit up. They want this to be an all-British showdown, and they don't care about Dimitri Bivol. This man looks spectacular when he fights, and they still come out here and talk about how, with his fighting style, puts people to sleep, the fans, not his opponents. he's boring, he's this, he's that. Yeah, I don't see what people are seeing. I don't see that. When I watch him fight, I'm sitting there like, damn, in amazement, just looking at how he keeps his range, keeps his distance, how he explodes, how fast his hands are, the combinations, his IQ, the angles, everything this man does, and his stamina, his conditioning. You know how hard it is to throw punches like that for 12 goddamn rounds. Just try to do it for those of you out there, right, who have never ever trained at all, right, who want to sit back and be critical of all these fighters. Just go wherever you are, right? Stand up and just throw punches for 30 seconds. Not fast, hard. Just sit there and just keep your arms moving for 30 seconds. And then you come back and tell and continue to ridicule and criticize these guys. But the secret society is trying to push Bivol out. And I think what's going on here is much bigger than just promoters. And this is the WBC, this is Saudi Arabia, this is everybody. You look at the promoters they got over there running shit. It's Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn. Look at the promoters who are behind most of these guys out there in the UK, man. Come on now, man. All the connections for the UK promoters out there in Saudi. So it only makes sense to get all UK fighters with those UK promoters to fight in Saudi. Get me wrong, Bivol, man, he gets looked after pretty good himself. But I just think he's not British. And for some reason, they haven't, especially that damn Mauricio Suleiman, he has not wanted to really try to meet this man halfway. I really don't get it. I understand this whole thing about Ukraine and Russia, but man, I haven't found anything out there that would suggest that the WBC is correct with what they're doing against Bivol. I mean, they're talking about, oh, he's Russian. Well, goddamn, Beterbiev is Russian. Oh, he's a Russian Canadian. Well, then goddamn, Bivol's a Russian American. I mean, what are we doing here? Splitting straws? Come on now. Just, if Beterbiev get past Smith, make the fight. But this may be, what we're going to see. We may just see Smith, get the win. We may see some shady stuff happen in that ring. I'm just telling you, man, I wouldn't put anything past anybody right now. Not with the type of money that's at stake, and and to get the guys with the belts right now in fights where they lose, and then you have an all British undisputed showdown. I just wouldn't be surprised if that's the plan. But then again, the fighters who get in there, they got to beat these guys. It's not easy to beat Bivol. It's definitely not easy to beat Beterbiev. But we'll see how it plays out, right? Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.